one of the key challenges that were raised during this particular conference is the whole issue of advocacy and communications. How do we take the message to the rest of the continent about what to look out for in as far as issues of substandard or even fake medication is concerned? So joining us to talk about the Lindokuhle, what do you think can be done, right, to raise the level of awareness? I mean, when I listen here with all the things that have been said, I mean, I've never come across any of this stuff, despite me reading a lot in the literature and so on, etc. In fact, the highest form of communications that we have seen in as far as health is concerned was during the COVID. After that, you don't hear much. Right? Take me a little bit on that score. How can we increase the level of awareness about this? Because it's clear that you need to mobilize society, broader society, in order to push back on this kind of fake medicine story.
Yes, and you know, you're completely right. I think, you know, as we've been working at the African Medicines Regulatory Harmonization Program for the past 15 years, right, on the background working on medicine regulation, you know, the scope of the work that we're doing wasn't highlighted as efficiently as we wanted to, because people didn't take it as seriously as it is. And you know, a blessing and a curse was COVID-19, when then it exaggerated the necessity of the continent having regulatory frameworks in place, so that we don't come across a situation where we have fake medicines circulating and counterfeit medicines circulating, you know. So what you're raising is key, because now that we've experienced COVID-19 and we've seen how it impacted the globe, and not only Africa, now we know that this is a critical issue that needs much attention and much awareness raising. Yeah,
but how can we do that in terms of the different countries, regions, and so on? What in your mind could sort of increase the level of awareness rapidly, because it's clear that this is an emergency.
Yes,
If people are consuming these wrong things, etc., if we get around to them in 10 years, they will have all of them will be dead.
You know, definitely. You know, one of the things that I usually talk about is the fact that in the private sector, communications is one of the most well-funded departments in any private sector organization. But when it comes to development issues and things that involve the development of people, you find communications being the most lacking in resources, you know? And we find ourselves having to use, you know, minimal budgets to be able to even share a small story, whereas this is a big story. It's a huge story. So I think what is necessary for the continent to be able to move in creating awareness for substandard and falsified medicines is money. We need investment. We need investment in communications and advocacy to be able to spread the word.
Do you find that governments have not yet put that at the top of the agenda? And would you say then, therefore, advocacy to just get governments, especially people who must release the resources, right, to be aware of the extent of the work? Don't you think that should be the starting point of your advocacy? Advocating right at the level of head of state. For that
Definitely. I think it really needs, you know, member states to take it a step further and having it in their national budgets for communications and advocacy on critical health issues. You know, we have states who support all other elements, but not necessarily advocacy and communications. And that's what we need. If we want our communities to be able to respond in the way that we want them to respond in terms of health issues and health crises, then we need to invest in public awareness, in educating them about the issues, and also in the solutions that are available for them when it comes to seeing these counterfeit medicines and protecting themselves and their families.
Don't you think therefore that you need to make it a program of yours to actually mobilize communicators in the first place? right?
Definitely.
So
And
that
I
the
think
communicators can pressure their various governments to release the funds.
exactly. And that's why we're here this week as well.
Yeah.
As you've seen in the Continental Plan, that communications and advocacy is a big element
Yeah.
of the plan, because we need to make sure that we drive this message to member states, to regs, to everyone, to be able to invest in their communications experts as well, government to invest in their people so that they can be able to advocate and share the message in the best way possible. So that is the program.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of the programs that are going to be initiated within this Continental Plan on communications and advocacy.
Yeah. If we were to advise the committee that's been elected here, what would be the top 2 things you'd say to them they must focus on?
Definitely one thing that needs to be done is resource mobilization.
Okay.
That's a top priority for us.
Yeah.
And also for us to be champions ourselves as well.
Yeah.
It's one thing to expect someone else to champion your message, but you also need to be a walking billboard for SFMP and the fight that we are fighting to combat it.
Wonderful. Wishing you well in the work that you are that lies ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right.